Hello, brothers and sisters. How you doing? I'm hoping your Tuesday is going well. I wanted to talk to something real quick. One of my favorite things to do is talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I never know when it's going to happen. That's the beauty of it. It's in part while I'm also doing this, creating my videos, because I don't have an outlet to talk about them. I don't have many people in my life where I can just go and just talk to them about the gospel and about the things that on my mind. So every once in a while, a conversation will start up on the bus. Yesterday, I was on the bus coming home from work, and there was a gentleman. Um, I moved out of the seat so he could sit it because he was an older gentleman, and he thanked me. And after there was in the very front of the bus, there was a spot for wheelchairs or people who have wagons or stuff like that. And there was a gentleman there that I had seen many times, and so I greeted him. And after him and his wife got off the bus, now I'm assuming it was his wife. It could have been his sister. I don't know, but I'd like to think that it was his wife. When they got off, I was moving up to the seat. I had my book in my hand. That the gentleman that I had moved out of my seat for asked me what book it was, and I said, "Oh," and he says, "Oh, that's a good book. Who's the writer?" And it was the Doctrine of Salvation books. Sorry, my mind right now is kind of loopy. Anyways, we started talking about it. I said it was written by Joseph Fielding Smith. And he says, "Oh, I've been reading the ones by another gentleman. He says he has like 19 books." And I said, "Hugh Nibley." And we started talking. And I told him that I had argued with Hugh Nibley on some things. And one thing that he was like, "Can you give me an example?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said that in one of his books, he talks about how Lehi, after seeing the vision of Jesus, the 12 apostles, and all that, is basically it's his first vision, or that's at least recorded. Lehi went home and collapsed and fell asleep. Well, Hugh Nibley says it was heat exhaustion. And I'm like, no, it's not. It wasn't heat exhaustion. And what it was, though, is, and we've seen this before, it's a spiritual experience. Because remember, Joseph Smith had a similar issue after being in the presence of God the Father and Jesus Christ. He said he couldn't move his body for quite a while. Let me go to Moses, because Moses, he actually put this the best way. Let's see here. Here was, I'll read Moses chapter 8, 9, and 10. And then 11 is actually the explanation. He says, "And it came to pass that Moses looked and beheld the world upon which he was created. And Moses beheld the world and the end thereof, and all the children of men which are and which were created of the same he, and of the same he greatly marveled and wondered. And the presence of God withdrew from Moses, that his glory was not upon Moses, and Moses was left unto himself. And as he was left unto himself, he fell to the earth. Okay? And it came to pass that it was for the space of many hours before Moses did again receive his natural strength, like unto a man. And he said unto himself, Now for this cause I know that man is nothing, which thing I never supposed. And now, listen to this, he says, But now mine own eyes have beheld God, but not my natural eyes. For my natural eyes, but by my, beheld not by my natural, but spiritual eyes. For my natural eyes could not have beheld, and I would have withered and died in the presence. For behold, his glory was upon me, and I beheld his face, and I was transfigured before him. Now, Joseph Smith doesn't record this, but that's the same thing that happened to him. He was transfigured, and he was physically exhausted afterwards. Other times that people have been transfigured in the presence, I believe that Peter, Paul, and Peter, James, and John, when they went on the Mount of Transfiguration, where they saw Christ transfigured, if they were able to withstand his presence being transfigured, I have a feeling that they were also transfigured a bit. And so, but Lehi had this great spiritual experience, so much that he was exhausted. Now, I've experienced that myself when the first time I went through the temple. When I left there, I was physically exhausted, and I could see why the brethren recommended people don't do their first time through and then get married, because spiritually it is draining, because you're going through a very spiritual experience. So, but the gentleman was surprised at what I was telling him. And we talked about many other things, but I wanted to touch on why Joseph Smith, let's go to Joseph Smith. I'm going to go down. Okay. Verse 20 of the Joseph Smith history, he says, He again forbade me to join any of them, and many of the things did he say unto me, which I cannot write at this time. When I came to myself again, I found myself lying on my back, looking up into heaven. When the light had departed, I had no strength, but soon recovery in some degree, I went home. So he had to wait for the space of time. And this is normal. Now, if you remember, there was a revelation that was given. I think it was of the 3 degrees of glory. Afterwards, who was it? His name escapes me. Anyways, the one that had the vision with Joseph Smith at the time, he looked at it and you'll have to excuse him. He's not used to this as I am. So that means as you have more spiritual experiences, as you have your physical body will start getting used to it, and your spiritual body, they'll all get used to these visions and revelations. your body to the point where you won't notice it. Now, I don't know many people that will have these experiences, but it happens. And if you're exhausted afterwards, that's okay. You'll get better. So I just wanted to talk about this because I do love talking about the gospel of Jesus Christ. There's nothing more important in my life. Even my anime and my video games do not take priority to this. They're recreational. They're to blow off steam, to help relax my mind. But this is to help lift my soul. So I hope you guys have a wonderful the rest of your day, and we'll see you later.